Do you ever find yourself scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, always searching for that bit of stimulation, that hit of dopamine on a social media site? And do you think that it might be making you unhappy? Well, that's what we're discussing today. When I decided I wanted to change my life in 2020, one of the things that I did was I came off pretty much all of my social medias. I got rid of Instagram, I got rid of Snapchat, I got rid of Facebook. And this was how it was up until recently. Starting this YouTube channel, I downloaded some of these apps back to promote the content that I'm making here. But even now, I keep them for that sole purpose and try and keep my use of them very, very low. This is because I think that the way social media works in the modern day can really inhibit our happiness. Human beings have a natural tendency to compare themselves to other people, to compare how they're doing in their life, how the trajectory of another person's experience is going. And social media is a prime place where we do this. And I don't think it's good for us. And this is because when you compare your life to another, it can really devalue the greatness that's involved in your own experience. Our lives can be so great. Like if you're watching my video, your life is probably sick. But you can look at someone else who's making thousands of pounds at your age, or is living in an expensive home, or seems like they're having such fun. You can feel like your life is shit. You can get this idea that you're not good enough, or you're not doing the things you're supposed to do. But when you take that away and you stop caring about the lives of others and focus on appreciating what you have, it's so much easier to be happy. Also, the way that social media works gets you addicted, man. It gets you addicted. Like, there are thousands of computer programmers and app designers that are making these things in a way to get you addicted. Like, everything is recorded. Everything you look at is there to keep you on that application. It is designed to take control of your psychology. And as scary as that sounds, it's true, it's business, it's the way the world works these days. And this can lead you to be susceptible to becoming overstimulated on these applications. And I find this myself, like I even kept YouTube for that time where I came off everything, and I find myself sometimes on there just scrolling endlessly, looking for something to entertain myself. And when I can take a moment to think, like, how is that actually making me feel? The answer is not good at all. That stimulation in the brain has been studied. It's your dopamine circuits, the neurotransmitter associated with drive and motivation. It burns those circuits out when you're just scrolling on unvaluable things. And when you burn that dopamine circuit out, then doing more difficult activities like exercising or meditating or studying is so much harder. So using these apps in an unhealthy way can actually be inhibiting other areas of our lives that we didn't even realise. And our time here on earth, no matter what age you are, no matter where you are in the world or what you're doing, is so valuable. It's so sacred, it's finite. And do we really want to be spending it on things that aren't serving us? You can scroll for an hour easily and come out of it thinking, did I learn anything there? Did I actually get anything worthwhile? And this is not to say that the time I've spent on YouTube over the past couple of years hasn't served me well. It's given me a lot of my good ideas for things, and it's got me into things like cold showers and meditation and, you know, lifting weights at the gym. But there's a definite distinction between times where I'm watching something and I know that this is quite helpful, I'm quite enjoying this, and times where I know I'm just numbing my brain and I know that I'm really just distracting myself from something that I'm probably would be better off doing. And one thing I'd really like you to consider is, do you care? If you spend an hour scrolling through Facebook or Instagram and you find out your second cousin Susie's bought herself a new dress online, do you care about that kind of thing? And I'm not saying ignore what your family are doing or cut them off. I'm just saying, do you really care? Is it worth your time to see those kind of things? However, in assessing this situation, it'd be unfair to not balance the argument and think about what can social media bring us that's positive. So many people use them that you can cut yourself off from a lot of contact with other people online, even if it is quite artificial. So my choice to cut myself off from these apps benefited me massively because I focused on my own life. I was much happier. It was more authentic in my actions and my thoughts. But it did cut me off from certain social circles. It cut me off from certain opportunities. And that's the yin yang, that's the picking your sacrifice that I talked about in a previous video. Certain apps can provide opportunities to connect with other people and organise cool things and cool experiences in life. I'm fully aware of that, and that I'm all for. The main takeaway, if you feel like social media is making you unhappy, is you have to find a balance. You have to know and you have to find the distinction of when you're on these sources of information, these apps, and when it's serving you, and to know when it's not serving you. I'm not advising that you come off social media completely, but what I am advising is be aware of how it's making you feel. Journal about it, or just think deeply about it, and know the difference between when it's serving you and when it's taking over your life. As long as you're not comparing your life to the other people's and you still value your experience, then maybe it won't affect your mental health. But if you feel like you're competing with others, if you don't feel good enough when you look at another person's life, then maybe there's an issue there that needs to be thought about. I think that's all for this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, I encourage you to join the Be an Anomaly movement. And I'll see you next time for more.